The Underdog Cup Group A continues. We have Dragonshire as our first map in the best of 3 series between Antimeta and low APM. And I have high expectations for Antimeta, I gotta say, not only because Scheffler, at a minimum, is a regular on the Twitch channel and in the chat, but also, if you call yourself Antimeta, you have to deliver. I'm just a little bit... I have been disappointed in the recent past. We had the bounty hunters in the Murky Cup and they didn't hunt any bounties. So that was a bit of a letdown, but I have high expectations here for Team Antimeta. They are kind of coming in with a big promise and now they need to deliver. We're currently in the lower bracket of Group A for the Underdog Cup and the winner will move on to the losers bracket final. Low APM going up against them, and as always the Underdog Cup is a tournament that is designed to shed a spotlight onto the amateur scene. So the top level teams are actually not allowed to participate in this tournament. Generally speaking, when you're looking at Heroes Lounge as the amateur scene, we have 5 divisions, Division 1 to 5 and Division 2 to 5 are eligible for participation in the tournament. And we had 16 teams sign up pretty much immediately. We ran Underdog Cups already before, and back then we got the feedback that more teams wanted to participate. So they said like, hey guys, can you maybe make it a little bit bigger? I was a bit hesitant. I didn't really think that we would get 16 teams all that easily, but yep, they signed up in force, and it's awesome to see the passion coming in from the amateur scene here. So very happy about that. And now we are going through the groups. Obviously, when you're looking at a team that is starting, let's say, in Division 5, you're going to have some players that might be in silver, might be in bronze, a couple of plats here. But once that we're going towards Division 2, then things very quickly start to become a lot more stronger still. We have the occasional top player as well that plays with a couple of friends in the amateur scene. So, yeah, definitely something to point out here. There's a little bit of prize money that they're fighting for as well, put up by me. So, they play for some pizza money here. They have an incentive. But at the end of the day, it's really just to give these teams an opportunity to shine, to also expose them a little bit to the tournament environment and then see if maybe at some point, you know, they're jumping in to maybe some of the bigger events, you know, like the big prize money tournaments, and try their luck there, and we could have some emerging teams. But for you, it's also an opportunity to just see a couple of new players. Some of the teams might already ring a bell since we had them play in the past, and a few of them. Yeah, and right now we are going through the group stage. So a lot of teams, a lot of different levels, and eventually we're going to have some teams emerge and qualify for the next round. Currently, we have Rhaegar, Greymane, and Johanna for Antimeta. So far, I'm not seeing a lot of Antimeta. Greymane is probably the closest that we're getting to. And then over on the right side, we get Chromie and Brightwing to at least initially kick it off. A lot of focus on the bands again from the front line. Garrosh and Variant, and they just named 2. But here comes Muradin, and we get Rexa, the king of Dragonshire, is making a reappearance for the top lane. I've seen more anti-meta in our previous series where Probius and Sul'jin were picked than what the blue team is currently delivering here. And I will shamelessly make fun of them if they're not at least picking a little bit of anti-meta. I think at the end of the day it matters what meta is defined as. But what are we getting? Let's go. Final 2 picks. We need some damage, we need a side laner. It's Kel'Thas and it's Leo. Kel'Thas, does that count? Is that enough? Do we look at Kel'Thas and say, like, that is anti-meta enough for us? I'm not so sure if I can let that one slide. But okay, we get Kel'Thas here. We get Leo for the top lane. And that leaves us with the final pick, and we get Sylvanas here on Dragonshire for low APM. So, ladies and gentlemen, first map in the best of 3 series here in the losers bracket of Group B. We have a team anti-meta against low APM. On the left side, in game number 1, we have the blue team. Scheffler with Greymane. We got Wildfire on Kel'Thas. Bonus points if somebody knows the super old school Wildfire drink when I was still living in Germany and commentating Warcraft 3 and then a bit of StarCraft 2. Those were the days. Those were the days. And the Wildfire ad was the best ad ever. That was just meme material from start to finish. Shash on Leoric, we got Safnocate on Johanna, and Sands is playing Rhaegar. On the right side of the map, low APM with Gumis on Muradin. We got Zaxi on Chromie, Mr. X on Brightwing, Beachu on Sylvanas, and Hammerine is playing Rexa in game number 1. all the way up at the top. Sylvanas is already saying hello and is starting to attack. The rest of the team is actually trying to trap anybody that tries to rotate towards the top lane, which has actually not happened because Leo is already there and instantly started to go for the big drain. Over in the middle, Joanna already fighting this one out. Khaldor, of course, mana addict on level 1. Shocking, I know, to the surprise of no one. And yeah, down at the bottom of the map, we get Chromie firing this a bit away too. Has actually gone on level 1 straight into deep breathing. Apparently, Chromie downloaded the meditation app and is now trying to put it to good use. Big Stormbolt on Jojo. I wonder where Muradin is getting all of these hammers from. If you're throwing hammers out all day, Muradin, Falstad, or Axis like Zul'jin, there needs to be an entire factory behind you. You need to make this some realistic thing. Can you imagine what this would actually cost, even if you get them for cheap? You buy in bulk somewhere, you go to World of Warcraft Walmart, World of Walmart or whatever, and then you just like buy 100 hammers. That still is going to cost you a lot of a duration of a game. Especially if you don't hit them. I mean, if you hit them, then they're right there and you can maybe collect them again. But there should be some kind of ammunition that you have. It's ridiculous that they can just throw these things away. And don't come at me and say, like, it's magic. I'm not going to let that slide. That's just not okay. Rexa at the top. A lot of trouble, but is able to make it out. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Scheffler. What a noob. Goes down. Unbelievable. Like, what a beta. Gets quickly eliminated. Honestly, if I'm team anti-meta, I'm looking at that kill. I'm like, dude, seriously. Are you serious? Like, really? That's how you die? I think he owes the entire team now at least a beer at the next event. At a minimum. At a minimum. So, yeah. Huge disappointed. Scheffler goes down. And, yeah, I think the team is totally justified now demanding a kick or something. But, with Scheffler falling and then reappearing down at the bottom of the map because he's scared to go back to the top lane where he just got obliterated a second ago. Yeah, he's trying to get a little bit of value here. So let's see if he can redeem himself. Eats the Stormbolt again, but walks away from Chromie's damage. So there we go. Okay, land fake. Shash at the top. Yeah, well, he's up against Sylvanas and against Rexa. That's not really a good pairing. So he's going to lose that wall if he doesn't pay attention here. The red team wants the full control over the 2 shrines now in order to get a bit ahead here. But as it happens, they're having a bit of a tough one. And Leo at the top, as I already predicted, has now actually fallen. That doesn't really come as a big shock, given how this has all been played out. So, yeah, him getting murdered not surprise me in the slightest. Now we have Rexa going down. Oh, sorry, Nisha went down there for just a second, but that is definitely not going to be a problem for them. They have level 7 already. The pressure play at the bottom of the map continues. So, yeah, they're trying to do the best they can here. But it is really the red team that is starting to suffer in structures at the bottom of the map. It's actually a bit surprising. In kills, it's the opposite, and that makes a bit more sense because the red team is a Division 2 team. And Anti-Meta is currently playing in Division 4, so they are definitely the underdogs for this one. But they are now getting kills and more momentum. The blue team, despite the fact that they're 2 divisions below their opponents, they are starting to get some serious value. They get level 7, they have the control over the bot lane, they've also, of course, taken the wall down here at the bottom of the map. They got the kill just a second ago, and now they have an opportunity to maybe go towards the top. Scheffler is, again, on a redemption arc right now, was able to move in and take Sylvanas out. Good for him, that's 2 kills to 2 now on the side, and at least in the early game, there is not really a whole lot of difference between the 2 teams. So, good for low APM to, well, actually, good for Anti-Meta to be able to play on eye level with the opponent. Khaldor is sitting at 14 stacks now with his flow quest, so he needs another 6 until he gets his quest reward. We have him now with the Burn Flash. They're starting to move in and threaten Muradin, who has to hop out. Chromie, of course, has her ult already and funneling into that choke point. Maybe not the hottest idea that they had here today, so that is starting to become more of a problem for them. But again, we have right now Leo dealing with Rexa at the top lane, so it's at least a 1v1. Well, counting Misha, it's 1v2, of course. And Rexa will win that one as time continues, but the pressure play at the bottom of the map is actually not looking too bad for the blue team. They're doing much better here. Level 10 abilities are soon going to kick in. So, right now, we have one more damage against Greymane as he gets threatened again. And the red team is trying to go for the objective once more. So they will easily get control, I assume. There's level 10. Again, Greymane in trouble. And this gets the kill. Greymane goes down. Another Stormbolt, this time against Johanna. But no opportunity to take this. Leo is trying to get that shrine, but of course he's losing then the minion wave in the middle. We get the Entomb for Leoki. Down at the bottom of the map now, the next push coming with Sylvanas. They're starting to take this out. The pressure in the middle as Muradin is threatening to get the Dragonite, and he's also starting to attack Kel'Thas. Leo again trying to grab the shrine. This is not going to be easy for him at all. Not with Misha here. The attack is coming. Leo gets the kill, but Rexa is still playing this out as in the middle. A Stormbolt misses. They're moving in for Muradin. Pops the Avatar. Tries to make a play too. Brightwing came in. They can try and go for Scheffler here. The Stormbolt connects. Sylvanas is down, but it seems that Greymane is going to fall too. Greymane died 3 times already in this game. Is currently at 13,000 damage, 17,000 for Leoric, 14,000 for Kel'Thas, and the blue team now threatening the Dragonites. An endless back and forth here in the early game. This is game number 1 of the best of 3. So, yeah, this is looking... I mean, this is honestly looking pretty good for a first map. I like that. Lots of good fights happening here as Misha is retaking the top. Muradin was protecting the middle to ensure that the Dragonite would not end up in the hands of anti-meta. But Leo now has pressure at the top lane. They went for the camp. So if Sylvanas moves in just a second, that's going to help them. If not, it's going to get a bit tricky, and Sylvanas is currently busy trying to take the camp too. The main action is happening at the bottom of the map in the meantime. But Muradin has to give up the shrine again. The entire team is moving back since they're off against 4 heroes who are trying to take the next camp. Sylvanas finally done claiming the camp. Misha has the control at the top. Entomb, and I think all that he did here is burn a cooldown. Yep. Rexa easily gets away from this. Sylvanas has moved towards the middle. They're not even helping out at the top. But there is still some attempted kill on Jojo, who is able to move out. They also took the camp with this, so pressure on the fort, which is already without any protection of towers. But Muradin is now moving in from the side. Here comes the hit. They're trying again for Greymane, and he gets the Ancestral from Rhaegar. Muradin can still pop the Avatar, and does, as Kel'Thas is getting chased. Johanna gets taken out by Chromie, and that is kill number 5 now for low APM. And moving in with Muradin once more. The double connect on the Stormbolt. He's hitting those bad boys hard. And they had a level 13 advantage throughout most of it. And it seems like this is going to be the first Dragonite. Sylvanas is moving into the middle. Top side is pushed out. That's a DK in the mid lane. The first objective of game number 1 goes to low APM. And they're trying to go for the camp, but their Siege Giants are already playing. Good initial damage here. Overall damage numbers, we have 30,000 now for Chromie. She's really delivering for the team. More damage also at the top. That fort is starting to suffer more and more. Leo is doing his best, but him alone is not going to be able to do too much here. They're attempting to push the bot lane as well, as the Dragonite is, of course, getting most of the attention from the blue team. Anti-meta is trying to burn it down quickly, but Sylvanas can easily move in, do a little bit more here, starts to kick Rhaegar out. A lot of defenders are there too. They're trying to go for Jojo again, and the bot lane aggression is actually bearing through too. They're coming in to try and take that fort out, and it's now at 50% of its HP, as the Dragonite is about to be taken out, but the top lane has lost a lot of hit points here. Misha jumped in again, half a level of an advantage now for team low APM. Muradin in the middle of the map, active once more against Kel'Thas, but they gotta jump out. Brightwing might be in trouble. Should be able to reposition, and does so. Let's be careful with the living bombs, of course, but they're doing okay. Stormbolt and big damage on Rhaegar, who immediately uses his panic button and goes for the Ancestral. But that allowed the red team to get the damage in at the top, so that's the first major structure of the game removed. They are able to catch with the Entomb. Rexa, though, gets an assist from Brightwing. Gravity Lapse is out, though, and this is bad news for Rexa. He's gone. They threatened Greymane for a second, but he was already moving out as well, and without Chromie being here, they just could not get a counter kill. That also helps Antimeta to catch up in experience. They're getting a lot closer now. We have 4 kills to 5, and level 16 talents will soon be available for low APM. But at this point, yeah, low APM, just be a bit careful on this. So right now, they are getting the damage in as the camp is about to be stolen away. Quick attack against Shash, alright. Can they get a kill on Leo? I don't think so. They need to deal with the Siege Giants first. Now Rexa is back towards the top lane. We got level 16 talents. So that gives us also Ignite. We have Holy Renewal. The totem build for Rhaegar is now essentially done. Muradin went into the Dwarf launch. And they're instantly pressuring Jojo again, who is in a lot of trouble and might even fall. Muradin wants to kill, gets Avatar, jumps out. Brightwing again to the rescue, but Johanna survived as well. To be fair, for a big chunk, this was a 5 versus 4. Now we have Rexa coming in through the top lane, but running straight into a few of the defenders. Another Stormbolt connects, and boy, oh boy, is Rhaegar in trouble now. Rhaegar is gone, no Ancestral here. That's your support eliminated, and they're targeting the bot lane heroes now. Leo is at the top. This is a 5 versus 4 now. Wailing Arrow absolutely on point. Are they able to get that fort and maybe even another kill though? Wildfire is in trouble. Muradin jumps out. They're waiting for the next minion wave. But with this lineup, they should be able to push this bottom fort if they really want it. The 3 defenders are doing the best that they can to keep them at bay. But this is still going to be dicey. Well, I think they could have gotten more here. The objective is up. We have Rexa moving towards the top to try and claim the shrine again. On the raw damage numbers, we have 45,000 for Sylvanas, 44,000 for Chromie. And then over on the left side, it's Kalthas with 43,000, trying to draw even with them. Lots of pressure now. Really nice first game, I really gotta say. And you can't see a big difference between the two teams here. So respect for Antimeta. Definitely playing... I mean, literally out of their league, if you just look at the stats. But you wouldn't know it if I didn't tell you earlier. So, yeah, Greymane with 29,000. Chromie already has her 20 now, so she goes into Unraveling here. Which is going to be a nice tool for them in those big team fights, especially, of course, if we happen to get a few of those in choke points again. Good control at the top from Rexa. The red team still has all of their forts, of course, which is a big win, especially at the top. Makes it very, very difficult for Leo to hold the lane and get control of the top shrine. But down at the bottom of the map, they're trying to repay them. They try and go for the kill. What about... Yes, Jojo is down. She went a bit too deep for this one. The timeout of Chromie bought her the time that she needed. Now they're looking for the follow-up kill, and they get it on Shepla. They take Greymane out. Here comes Sylvanas, and oh boy, this is disastrous. The Ancestral got out, but Rhaegar is dead. They go for Kalthas, and they drop him as well. That is nearly everyone, with the exception of Leoric, eliminated here. And this is, of course, a massive amount of momentum currently for the red team. They are working towards level 20. They lock in the Dragon Knight, move towards the middle to eliminate the last fort, which will give them the experience for Storm Talents. And yeah, this is just looking great. It's going to take another 30 seconds, for example, until Kalthas is back. So this is really where it all started to fall apart a bit. It looked good until it didn't anymore. Now we got Rewind. We got the Invisible Friends, we got the Kill Command and the Bolt of the Storm on the side of low APM. And they're gonna get, at a minimum, the bottom keep. The push with Sylvanas and the Dragon Knight is just too much for them to handle. The DK is still at 77%, and they decide that they want to do at least some damage on the core. So that's gonna be their first step here. Quick kick and punt from the Dragon Knight as they're getting Rhaegar out of the mix. They're starting to throw in a little bit deep. Nice jump by Sylvanas. Dodging out on the Blessed Shield, of course, too. Kalthas is gone. That's one of the defenders eliminated. as they're trying to aim for, well, for Leoric. Wailing Arrow is out as well. The Stormbolt and the damage output. And there's the next kill. Leo falls. Jojo made it, but the core is losing more hit points. Was already at 85%, and they're working it down even further. Greymane is dead. Low APM. They want the victory here, and they're inching closer and closer to Elite in this loser bracket series. They want to move on to the loser bracket final, and it's looking good. Low APM with the W on Dragonshire as they drop Rhaegar and secure the victory here. The lead in the best of 3 series in Group A. GG. We're going to head straight into game number 2, but before we do, once again guys, if you enjoy the coverage on the channel here, if you enjoy the match, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. It also helps to boost the game to an even wider audience. And of course, it helps to get people back into Heroes of the Storm as the algorithm recommends the videos to people that were interested in Heroes of the Storm in the past. So again, before I continue, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Appreciate it. And with that, we're heading straight into the second map of the series. Battlefield of Eternity. So, low APM was able to take the victory on the first map. Now we're heading into BOE. Yeah, Anti-Meta needs to win too now if they don't want to drop out of the tournament. The winner moves on to the losers bracket final, where they still have a shot to move on to the next round. The 10 heroes that have been played cannot be played again, so you already lost your chance there if you heavily rely on any of those. This is one of the cool things, to also target certain one-tick pony players on the other side. But yeah, it was a nice game. For a long time, it was absolutely dead even between the two of them, and Anti-Meta did a great job there. Now that we're heading into Battlefield, we can probably expect fireworks again too. Battlefield is, generally speaking, a pretty fun map to watch. There's like certain maps where you're essentially guaranteed to see a lot of fighting, and Battlefield is one of them, just through the nature of the objective and the map itself. So, kind of looking forward to that. Still, Anti-Meta has to prove their point a bit. We get Lucio banned, Garrosh banned, Blaze gets eliminated. But I want to see some Anti-Meta picks. Kel'Thas, yeah, well, if they would have gone maybe for Pyro. But yeah, not so much. So, Anduin. Anduin Bin is always good. And here comes Hanzo. So when it comes to immortal damage, they're locking in the main hero for it right away. And, well, with Greymane already played, you could play Arrow Build Vala, you could still go into Liming. I hope nobody takes Trash Tannis. But yeah, Vala and Liming, good candidates here. There's a couple more obviously around, but I think those will be the big ones. And Liming gets claimed, and they take Stukov together with her. So that might lead to a variant ban. I can't really remember. I think game number 1 they banned variant, right? So if you now have Stukov and Liming, I mean, it basically screams that it's going to be some kind of engage combo. You're trying to blow the intended target, the Kingdom Come. So banning out Varian could be one of the things that low APM is going to do here. Or, of course, they could just pick him if they want him. But they go into Trash Tannis. The liability gets chosen. Okay. Why, oh why? Again, for all the haters, play your Artanis in your quick match. I don't care if you think that it's a fun hero. I agree, it's a fun hero. But if you want to win the video game, there are better alternatives. Even on Battlefield of Eternity. I wish they would buff Artanis. I really do. But Artanis is still an absolute meme. There's my variant ban, by the way. With the early picks here on the side of Anti-Meta, that was pretty much a given. But yeah, the red team is still the favorite, let's be honest. They are a Division 2 team. They're up against the Division 4 team. Artanis coming in here. So, we'll see. I mean, on the other hand, they give themselves the handicaps. They want to give Team Anti-Meta a chance. That is nice. Diablo and Jimmy. Alright, Jimmy with Exterminator, I would assume. More damage against the Immortal. And Uther, I'm looking currently at that Uther pick and I'm thinking, do they play Uther main tank? Probably not. But, we'll see. They still need a main tank too, obviously. With Artanis, you have some extra damage on this, but yeah, we'll see how that fares for them. And then, what is the blue team gonna take as their side laner? Melganis and Cassia. So Uther solo heal, Hanzo and Cassia for damage. plus Mal'Ganis, Artanis at the side. Oh, and we get Arthas as a side laner. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. We got our second map coming up, Battlefield of Eternity. Which team takes it? Are we going to game 3, or is low APM now closing out the series with a 2-0 victory? Let's find out. Map number 2. Game number 2, and we get anti-meta in blue on the left side. So, Scheffler on Li Ming. We got Wildfire with Exterminator on level 1 playing Reyna. Shash is on Arthas. We got Suffocate on Diablo and Sans on Stukov. Coming in with the Fetid Touch. Over on the right side, we got low APM in the lead in the series. They want to go to the losers bracket final. We got Gumis on Mal'Ganis, Zaxi on Hanzo, Virtue on Cassia, Mr. X with Uther, and the liability played by Hammerin with amateur opponent on level 1. The talent that tricks so many teams to pick Artanis on Battlefield of Eternity. So, with Exterminator, Exterminator is actually a talent where even on level 1 you're already insanely powerful against the Immortal, so usually the team that picks Reyna has a pretty decent head start into the first objective. Mal'Ganis already getting targeted quickly. Arthas will be interesting later. Arthas has been played a lot more than I expected in the Murky Cup as well. A lot of those picks were by the NA team, but still was a super interesting series. Or tournament in general. But now I want to see if we're going to get a bit more value out of him, especially, of course, with that top lane dominance he's trying to execute here. Went into Rhyme as his level 1 talent and is already starting to threaten Artanis a little bit. That lane, I think Arthas is going to go do pretty well there, depending a bit also on what kind of build he's obviously going to use. But yeah, time will tell. The first objective is already going to be a bit interesting. There's the chance... Ooh, Scheffler, look at that. Bonus points, Redemption Arc, plays the money pick. Didn't even pay attention to his mount in game number 1 with Greymane. But, yep, nice one. As long as he doesn't die first again, we're going to be fine. And as I say it, he gets attacked. But they're coming in on Diablo, and take him down. So, first blood for low APM. Nicely done. Yeah, they get the kill, and they instantly focus their attention on the bottom camp to try and claim this one too. Yeah, seems like Jimmy is going to try and help out at the top lane. Ah, Jimmy wants to go for the camp. They want to trade camps here. He's not really interested in pushing the lane out, but they are hoping that they can at least take one of those camps. One hit after another, and yeah, he's going to get this one. But I guess they realize that he's missing at the bottom of the map, so now they can use their own camp to push this a bit further, try and take a tower or 2 down, and break through that wall. But yes, Jimmy was able to claim it up at the top. Now we have the level 4 talents kick in. We got Frozen Wastes, actually, for Arthas here. So he's going to use that and try to stack it up a bit against Artanis at the top lane already. Down here, as expected, that wall falls. So with the help of the camp, they pushed in, and they started to take it out. Only the gate is still remaining, and even that is destroyed. They are not taking their camp here, though, so they're a little bit late to that party, and this is something where the blue team is definitely making the better choice. They have gone for their shaman camp and can now execute a bit of a pressure play. So I like what we're seeing from anti-meta on a macro level. That was an important one to take, and a misstep by low APM to not get their own. The race is also up, and this is where the defense is starting to slowly kick in. But the halftime show gets won by the red team. So they're taking this with a 1,000 point lead on the shield. So not too bad. And that forces anti-meta to go for defense. I expected Jimmy to go... Okay, he goes to the left now. Alright, that's what I was about to say. He should be the one to just go for a solo attack here, because he alone can easily burn this one down. Which triggers the attack from low APM. Mal'Ganis is in trouble though. Might die, needs a few more heals, tries to re-engage and set up the team for success, and actually does pretty okay here. Gumis gets hit by Li Ming, but is still able to move away. And the battle for the Immortal is not over yet, but it is... Oh my god, it's actually the red team that claims it with 76 hit points. 76 hit points remaining on their own. barely missing out on the Immortal. Reina did an amazing job trying to bring this one back. But of course, the Lord and Savior, Artanis, with his level 1 talent. Viable. Him attacking changed the outcome. I actually don't even know if he was here, to be honest with you. It was mostly Hanzo. But again, let's embrace the memes a little bit. So we got level 7 talents for them already. Insanely close Immortal, and therefore it did very little to no damage. But they are able to do a bit at the top lane, at least. Yeah, but not enough. They poke away with Hanzo. We have Artanis against Arthas down at the bottom of the map. Red team, by now, with the level 7 talents, the never outmatches in. We got the Surge of Light and the Guardian of Ancient Kings, by the way, as a level 7 choice for Uther. The 1v1 at the bottom of the map, again, Arthas can start to use his Frozen Ways to stack the level 4 quest a bit. On level 7, he went straight up into the Icebound Fortitude. We're now having also Unstable Compound and Calamity for Jimmy and for Li Ming. The 4 versus 4 are still all centered around the top right now, as they're trying to go for Mal'Ganis again. There's the stun. They're setting this up against Diablo. A little bit of damage done, but with all the heals that are coming out from Stukov, not really a big problem just yet. But Arthas at the bot lane is slowly and steadily just continuing with his stacks, as Artanis is taking the walls out too. I don't know what's going to hide there. I'll get vision later. Next objective is coming up, and this is where things are going to get a bit more interesting too. Well, do we get the level 10 ability? I don't really think so. Maybe if they're staying a little bit longer on those lanes. The camp is now about to be taken. This one should also respawns in 40 seconds, so this is not going to be ready in time. But they're going to get the pressure at the top lane with this one now. So, what exactly can low APM do here? First of all, they need to try and protect their own. They could maybe send a few heroes to the side lane and try and go for level 10. But the fight is already looking okay. They're coming in for Diablo, trying to get the kill here. Mal'Ganis has to be a bit careful, but is able to get away without any big problems. And the longer this fight lasts, the better, of course, for the red team, since the Shaman camp is pushing at the top. That's the reason why Arthas has now started to move there. And with Jimmy appearing at the bot lane, they know that there's only 3 defenders, so they instantly start to make a move for this. And as they should, I mean, Hanzo is monster on an Immortal, and they're going to win the halftime show basically for free. Well, not quite. Mal'Ganis gets caught, so that's the price that they had to pay here. Maybe overstepped slightly and then gets eliminated. Can the red team go for it though? Because 8 seconds until Mal'Ganis is back. Jimmy is attacking. And he is, with Exterminator, a fantastic tool against the Immortal. But level 10 is soon going to be ready. This is the reason why Artanis is still at the bottom of the map. They want to have their heroic abilities, and there they are. So Arrow from Hanzo could be utilized. We have also the Suppression Pulse that could be used here too. Yeah, it's basically even now. But Hanzo is back on the job. And I suppose this is going to be another Immortal for the red team, sorry. And this time it has a bit of a bigger shield. It's not crazy. 2,600 hit points on the shield. The arrow, ooh, yep, still on the way. Rumor has it, legend has it, that it is still flying today. Yeah. That one went nowhere. 1 kill versus a kill, but it's time for that top lane to suffer again. The bot lane, Arthas against Artanis. They're still fighting it out. Here comes the Hyperion. They want that defense, and they're doing okay here, but that fort is likely going to get destroyed. This is at the end of the day the second Immortal, so it's a little bit stronger, and yeah, it had enough of a shield to take at least the fort out. So that's the first major structure that gets destroyed here. But now 8.5 minutes into the game, the damage output for Li Ming is at 16,000. 34,000 for Cassia. Yeah, girl is definitely leading the rankings with that. Hanzo's coming in second with 19,000. Still doing damage at the bottom of the map. Howling Blast. Mal'Ganis. Go for the sleeper setup over here. With a fort gone at the top, that obviously is going to have an impact just because of the catapults alone. They're trying to get more done here. Apoc! That one just split the team a little bit, but they're now turning on Arthas. Divine Shield on Mal'Ganis, and he uses his ult, comes in with the conversion, and they're trying to get Diablo with it as Hanzo connects the arrow, and they're dropping Jimmy. Jimmy is gone. Big swap from Artanis. Fire, as he comes in, gets used as the punching bag for just a second, but survives. Really nice move initially with the Divine Shield and then the ult coming out from Mal'Ganis though to turn the battle. They only got one kill though. I think they were hoping for more here, for more momentum, which they couldn't quite get. They now get 42,000 damage for Cassia, and they lock in the camp at the bottom of the map. So more and more pressure now against the team anti-meta. Now, if they lose this map, they are out. Team low APM would move on to the loser bracket final, which would then be the next step. But by now, we got the attack against Gumis with the continuous poke that we're getting from Cheflon is Liming. The next Immortal is spawning in a few seconds. But thanks to the camp that they claimed at the bottom, low APM is now hoping to get more damage in here against the fort and maybe even remove another fountain from the outer ranges. That hasn't happened so far. Artanis is trying to go for the camp at the top. Has been called back though, because the objective is already up. And they have a level 13 talent, so they get the lead again. Can they capitalize on it though? Seems like they are more interested in getting their Shaman camp first. And yep, getting some damage in on that. Everybody else is still defending. Blue team is obviously really happy with this being just delayed slightly because they want level 13. They want to have the even talent situation for the next battle. That gives us Illusionist. We're getting the virulent reaction as well. And Jimmy is coming in with a giddy up. So off we go. Camp at the top. Once again, Mal'Ganis getting attacked. He has his ult up and could use it if needed. Suppression Pulse came through too. They can buy for the top lane. The keep might take some damage. But damn, they really are chasing now, aren't they? They want to chase. They want to chase hard. And here's the swap attempt. Not working. But the APOC, Divine Shield and the swap trying to go for Liming. Big swap. Honestly, that combo is starting to really do work. I don't know how they didn't kill Mal'Ganis the 2 times, but they take out Jimmy, they take out Liming, and that was pretty wild. That kill by Mal'Ganis was big for them. Look at this. He comes in, gets the swap on Liming, and then bam. The kill is there. Now the 2 damage dealers are gone. That removes the fort at the bottom of the map. And talking about structures, at the top, this camp is still pushing. So now they need somebody to deal with this, which means that the Immortal is absolutely... Oh my god, the swap! The Immortal already abandoned. Now they're swapping on Diablo as they're trying to get another kill here. Good damage from Cassia, just not enough to drop the Lord of Terror. And at this point, yeah, we have the Immortal attacked again, and if they're hurrying up, then they might get a massive, massive shield on Immortal number 3. So, coming in right now, but, yep, Artanis is gone. The liability has been eliminated. 60,000 damage on Cassia, by the way. And now Jimmy is trying to prevent the worst from happening. If the red team is... I don't understand why Cassia is going for a camp. Why are you not poking against the Immortal? I mean, you know Jimmy is attacking it. Going for the camp is wasting an enormous amount of time. So that's an F call right there. That's a horrible decision. They can still poke from a distance if they're doing this right. And yeah, with Cassia here, they might even get a kill. Who knows? But she's missing. Coming in very, very late towards the battle and trying to help him out. Already a lot lost. Big arrow from Hanzo. The APOC though, but it zones them back and doesn't lead to a kill or anything. Jimmy is getting attacked now. Hanzo is already on the objective. Another stun from Uther. He follows up. The Immortal is taken, but they take down Hanzo. They get a kill though. Ooh, they get 2 kills. Li Ming and Jimmy are both gone. So that still gives them the edge here. They're trying to also follow that up with another one. And they're swapping in Diablo. Diablo likely going to fall here. And he does. But he had at least the soul stacks together. They hoped for Stukov. Couldn't get the kill there quite. Top lane, double catapult now with the camp. But it's the push at the bottom of the map that is more of an issue. And something that they will have to somehow deal with. 67,000 damage from Cassia. They're 4 versus 3 now. The defenders have, of course, the advantage that the 2 respawning heroes will be there for the defense immediately. But it still is going to cost them hit points on the bottom keep and maybe the entire thing. So, here we go. Hanzo's also slowly on the way. Has his arrow back in 3, so could go for a long distance arrow if you really wanted to. Maybe a little bit too telegraphed, but time will tell. There's also the level 16 talent advantage, of course, that low APM is currently enjoying. So with that, they will get the keep. This one is out, and the top keep is taking damage as well. So the longer that they can pin them down at the bottom of the map, the better for them. But they're now moving towards the top, slowly rotating in here to see if they can maybe siege up on this as well. Wall is already destroyed, and the blue team is getting pressured back more and more. But they're getting level 16 talents. Maybe a comeback. Maybe they can start a comeback here. Next Immortal is going to tell. So the level 16 talents are ready. That gives us, of course, the Mirror Ball for Liming. We also get the Remorseless Winter. Arthur has been trying to control the fights as best as possible for them. With limited success so far. It's 7 kills to 3 in the game and a 1.5 level lead for Team Low APM. Already attempting to set up another little trap here. Well, Liming and Arthurs are now moving towards the top. If they engage now and get the hit in, that would be alright, but yeah, Rest comes back in. They come in, and the arrow as a follow-up. The arrow and the swap, glorious kill. Glorious combo right now from Low APM. They sync up 3 ults to get the kill here. Divine Shield and the swap from Alganis. Where have I seen that before? A little bit of a deja vu moment. But that was amazing. Just check that one out. He comes in, tees him up. The arrow follows the swap from Artanis. And that's a kill on Stukov. And now they are on the core. They won the game. They took so many heroes out in that fight. Only 2 survivors remaining to try and stop them. And I just do not think it's happening. It's too much damage already. We have 10 kills to 3. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Low APM moving on to the next round of the tournament, to the losers bracket final as they take out Team Antimeta. GG.